How to control your thoughts, a path to inner peace. Hey friends, today we have an important and relevant topic, how to control your thoughts. I'm sure each of us is familiar with the feeling when thoughts take over, turning every moment into worry, anxiety, and stress. But what if I told you that you can take control of this process? What if I told you that thoughts are not you and can be worked with? Today we'll discuss how to control your thoughts, why it's so important, and how to train your mind to do so. What does controlling your thoughts mean? Before we move on to the methods of control, let's first understand what it actually means to control your thoughts. Thoughts are not who we are. Thoughts are simply a process in our consciousness. But often, we identify too much with them, taking them as reality. We don't realize that not every thought reflects the truth. If we always believed everything that comes to our mind, we'd be overwhelmed by different scenarios every day. Sometimes we get stuck in the past, sometimes we worry about the future, and sometimes we just obsess over every word and action. Controlling your thoughts doesn't mean suppressing them or avoiding them. It means learning to be an observer, realizing that thoughts come, but not letting them control your emotional state. It's also about redirecting thoughts when they start to interfere, for example, when they turn into worries or fears. Why do thoughts get out of control? It's hard to control thoughts if we don't understand why they get out of hand. Let's look at a few reasons. 1. Automation and habits. Many of us are used to the fact that thoughts come automatically. We begin thinking about something, worrying, and it becomes a habit. Each thought triggers a new chain, negative, anxious, or fearful. The human brain has a tendency to focus on problems, on what might go wrong, to protect us from danger. But sometimes this becomes a vicious circle. 2. Emotions that trigger thoughts. When we experience strong emotions, our thoughts often become a reaction to them. For example, when we feel anger or stress, we may start thinking, "This isn't fair. Why do they do that to me?" And so on. Emotions amplify thought processes, and thoughts, in turn, amplify emotions. 3. Inability to let go of the past. When we keep replaying the past, we can get stuck in regrets or guilt. These thoughts prevent us from moving forward and appreciating the present as it is. When a mind constantly returns to old mistakes or failures, it prevents us from being in the moment. 4. Anxiety about the future. We often start worrying about what might happen, which triggers endless thoughts. We rehearse scenarios that haven't even occurred yet, and as a result, feel anxious. This also causes us to focus on worst-case scenarios, thinking about how we might fail. How to control your thoughts. 7 effective methods. Controlling your thoughts is a skill that can be developed. Here are a few methods that can help you regain inner balance and take control of your thoughts. 1. Mindfulness. Mindfulness is a practice that helps us become more aware of our thoughts. But it's important to understand that mindfulness doesn't mean stopping your thoughts. It means observing them without judgment. When you learn to notice thoughts without giving them power, you become less vulnerable to their influence. How does it work? Imagine your thoughts are like clouds drifting across the sky. Your consciousness is the sky, and the thoughts are simply clouds passing by. You don't try to hold on to them, you simply observe them as they move. After some time, you'll feel how they lose their power and your attention returns to the present moment. Exercise. Sit in a quiet place, close your eyes, and simply observe your thoughts. Don't try to control them. Just acknowledge their arrival and departure. 2. Changing your inner dialogue. Your inner dialogue is what you tell yourself in your head. When thoughts start becoming negative, it's important to learn how to change them. This doesn't mean ignoring problems, but changing your perception of the situation. How does it work? Let's say you have the thought, "I can't handle this." Try replacing it with something more constructive. "This is difficult, but I can learn and overcome it step by step." Exercise. When you catch yourself having a negative thought, ask yourself a different question. How can I see this from another perspective? How can this be an opportunity for growth? 3. The attention shifting technique. If your thoughts start consuming all your attention, simply shift your focus to something else. This could be physical activity, a good book, breathing exercises, or anything else that will help distract you from the troubling thoughts. How does it work? Sometimes it only takes a few minutes to switch focus for your mind to reset. For example, if you're struggling to focus on something important, simply stop thinking about it for a few minutes. Walk around the room, drink some water, or take a few deep breaths. 4. Work with your emotions. Thoughts are often triggered by our emotions, and vice versa. When you want to control your thoughts, you need to be able to regulate your emotions. Allow yourself to feel, but don't let your emotions dictate your thoughts. How does it work? When you feel anxiety or stress, try naming the emotion. I'm feeling fear right now. This helps you acknowledge the emotion without letting it control you. Exercise. Acknowledge what you're feeling in a moment and try to understand where that feeling is coming from. This will help you manage your emotions and regain control over your thoughts. 5. Gratitude practice. Positive thinking and gratitude are great ways to shift your attention from negative thoughts to positive ones. Gratitude helps us notice the good things and be thankful for them. How does it work? When you focus on what's good in your life, you direct your attention to positive moments. This helps replace negative thoughts about the future or the past. Exercise. Every morning or evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for. It can be anything, from the support of loved ones to a good day at work. Over time, you'll notice how your perspective changes. 6. Visualization and meditation. When we visualize certain images, we can control which direction our mind goes. Meditation and visualization help you find inner peace and regain control over your thoughts. How does it work? Use meditation to clear your mind of excess thoughts. A simple way: close your eyes, focus on your breathing, and imagine each thought leaving you like a cloud in the sky. 7. Breaking negative patterns. Many of us get used to thinking in a certain way, even when it's not helpful. These negative thought patterns need to be recognized and gradually replaced. How does it work? Each time you have a thought like "I can't do this" or "I'm not good enough," ask yourself, where is this thought coming from? Is this true? By doing this, you break the pattern and begin building a more positive mindset. Conclusion. Controlling your thoughts is a long process that requires practice and patience. But once you start realizing that your thoughts are not you, they're just reflections of your feelings, you'll begin to change your perception and, consequently, your life. Don't let your thoughts control you. Learn to control them, and you'll gain inner freedom and peace. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. How do you deal with negative thoughts? Share your experience with us.